Hello everyone, I'm with the president of Fufa, Mr. Magogo, who are the president of the federation. Mr. Magogo, how are you?
I'm very well, how are you doing?
You have been in Fufa president since 2013.
Yes.
And what's your biggest achievement in 13 years?
Oh, you know, before I became president, I was also a vice president in the federation.
Yeah.
And I must also say, before I became a member of the executive committee, I was still an active player.
Yeah.
Playing in the top league in the country.
Yeah.
But when I became member of the executive, I decided to quit playing. Mm-hmm. I thought I was going to help football more as an administrator than a 30-year-old footballer.
Yeah.
But I found the federation with a number of challenges at that time.
Yeah.
I'd already experienced them. Mm-hmm. And I set my strategy that I want to build the institution of Fufa to be a strong brand, a strong institution.
Yeah.
And I also said I want to increase on the resources, the revenues, and make sure they are handled very well. Then also open up relationships with so many other stakeholders inside and outside the game. Yeah. But also build the game of football. So I believe that that initial strategy has been overachieved. Yeah. Because as we speak today, I turned around this institution. Now Fufa in Uganda is one of the most credible institutions. With a lot of admiration. Just a simple example, when we advertise a job, you get thousands and thousands of people who want to come and work with the institution. That's an indicator. Yeah. We are one of the biggest taxpayers in the country, meaning that we have put together this institution and put together the governance structures. There are no internal wrangles. We do things solidly well. So the institution is now very solid. Now it gives us time to start going into looking for resources. Yeah. And I've turned around. Initially, we had an annual turnover of 4 billion Uganda shillings. Yeah. That's about almost $1 million when I took over. But today, as we speak, we are going into about $12 or $15 million as annual turnover. Yeah. So that means more money has come in, and also more activities are being done. Yeah. And we have also opened up very good relationships. How have we been the money in the corporate world, sponsors, but also with government, the number of stakeholders. Yeah. When I took over, we had the 0 shillings coming from government. Today, government is coming in with almost $6 million. So I believe that that's a turnaround. But on the pitch, and we've gone back to the Africa Cup of Nations, which was a big challenge for the administrators before me. Yeah. You were judged whether Uganda would qualify to AFCON or not. So after 39 years, when we played the finals in 1978 with Ghana, we did not qualify until 2017 when I took over. Now qualification has become a given. Yeah. Now we qualify. So the challenge is when we qualify, what do we do there? And that's what we are working with. And then also the junior teams now, we've gone to the World Cup with the underage national teams. The women are also back onto the continent, the league. We're still struggling with the league. The clubs are struggling to be proper brands and be able to make money. But for me, I believe generally that just too many things, if you ask me, that we have turned around. We started the women football, now we have the leagues, we have started the junior leagues for the kids. So for me, there's been an opportunity for us to get back to the core of football.
President, you know the Ugandan Premier League is have a struggle with low attendance. How do you make it commercially to viable in this year?
That's the challenge we've had. And if you look at our numbers, you know the Uganda Premier League used to be very popular. Yeah. I remember when I was growing up as a kid, you know, it was always sellout in the early 2000s until there was a problem in the administration then, and the matches which were fixed, and some of the fans left. In 2006, you had more substitutes than the fans. Yeah. Today, fans are starting to come back. If you see the matches that are really drawing numbers, but we have had a lot of work to do with what we call the Clubs Pro agenda. We call every club, we sit down with them, try to improve on their governance systems and structures. Then we have also gone in to try and show them how to be commercial entity, branding and all these things, but also the football on the pitch. So as we speak, there are some efforts now you can start seeing. About 5 clubs are now starting to grow numbers. But we also didn't have infrastructure as a country. There was zero infrastructure. So we took a strategy of hosting AFCON 2027, and now government has come up with massive infrastructure. And right now when you see, we are having very many options of where football can be played, which wasn't the case before. We believe it's going to just get better. We know in our commercial deal for the league, which we have for the rights, we sold it almost 10 years ago, for 10 years. But now when we get the rights back, we're sure that it's going to be more massive than what we got before.
But for the TV rights, UPS has no major broadcasts. What is the blocking in this process?
No, in our country, we do not have such a major player who would put in volumes of money. You know, for you to have proper value from broadcast rights, you need to have a proper product on TV. So what we did in the country, there was no local ability to do production. So as a federation, we decided to acquire the ability to do production under the Fufa TV, and also eventually do the channel which is doing all the matches. Now, right now, we are able to produce our matches. We are able to put them on satellite. We are able to put them on TV. We believe when we sell next, we will sell a finished product more than selling only the rights at the beginning. It's going to get much better, but there's also a country, Uganda, they follow a lot of European football. There's too much European football. But as we speak, we have seen the numbers for some of the games that are local. On TV, the viewerships are increasing, and we believe that's also going to increase on the commercial front.
Okay, but you talk about the infrastructure. You have a Fufa Technical Center, and what is the impact of the FIFA forward money?
Big question. We already have the Fufa Technical Center, which was built by the administration before me. But when I came in, I expanded onto. I found only 8 working staff at the federation. Today we have over 200 staff, directly about 60 in the federation, and the others into the associate companies that are working with the federation. So we needed bigger headquarters. So my first FIFA forward, I increased on the headquarters. So we got more land in the middle of the city and put up buildings. So, but then also we have put up what we call the Fufa Stadium. Kadiba is a stadium we are building. Intended to have a 20,000 seater capacity. And it's already being used for international matches. It's only 25% done. It's already hosting the international girls under 17 boys. It's on the Uganda Cranes matches that will still take into the bigger stadium. So the FIFA forward has made us increase on our capacity of the headquarters. Has made us also do a lot of human resource capacity building. I found 28 coaches of CAFC. Now we have over 7,000 coaches trained. But has also made us put up the Fufa Stadium Kadiba, which is already operational at 25%. And we believe when it's completely done, it will be a 20,000 seater stadium, which will also, and it's being used for international matches, but also one of the top clubs in the league. It's hosting matches there. And it's also going to be a training facility for the Africa Cup of Nations 2017. We believe that's what FIFA Forward has done. And for me, I think the operation of money has made us be able to employ some people. We have now very quality staff in the federation. So in terms of finance, we have full-time lawyers employed, we have full-time finance professionals, marketing professionals. How do we use FIFA Forward to pay them the salary? But most importantly, our signature program is what we are calling the technical master plan. And this is to improve on the player on the pitch. We have done all these things, but what about the player on the pitch? So in that technical master plan, still we are benefiting from the TDS. And also we are using money from the FIFA Forward to undertake talent identification, talent development, and also the coaching education for the young players.
But you know, I know some clubs of Uganda, Vipers, KCCA. How does FIFA help smaller clubs to survive financially?
For me, it's about capacity, because FIFA cannot give you, not even government, not even the federation, nobody can give a professional football club money to run its business, a lot of money. So the only thing you do is not give the fish, give them the net. And if you look at our FIFA Clubs Pro agenda, that's exactly what we do. Sit down with the clubs and say, look, this is how things are done. This is how your match day experience is supposed to be. This is how you talk to the sponsor. This is how you organize your internal governance. So for us, the money we get from FIFA Forward, we have used it to extend in terms of capacity, and many clubs have improved. Of course, FIFA did a program with the clubs to try and do the strategy. And one of our clubs, URI Football Club, was one of the best on the continent in terms of strategy. But there's one thing to do strategy, and there's one thing to do the real things on the pitch. So for me, what FIFA may continue to do, I don't know what is in the package of FIFA Forward for, but whatever it is, for me, it's about building capacity and making sure that maybe the better thing would be to expand on the Africa Champions League, whereby the clubs have more chances of getting into group stages. Because right now, there are only 16 clubs and they are the same clubs year in, year out. But if they expanded it to 32, then it means that some of the clubs from some of our leagues that are developing will get in the group stage. And you know, when you get into the group stage, you expose your players, you expose it improves the national team. And for me, that would be one of the ways maybe FIFA together with CAF can help.
Okay, President, we talk about football, women's football. What is the plan of FIFA?
You know, one of the biggest decisions I made when I became president, first of all, let me say I own a women football club myself, me and my family, the best women football club in Uganda, Kampala Queens. So I have so much interest in women football as a president. Now, when I became president, the first thing I did was to withdraw Uganda from international competition. We had beaten South Sudan, I think 22-0. And I said, guys, we are not continuing. And everybody was mad with me. But I said, let's go back. We went back. At that time, we had only one team, the national team. All girls, the best, would only come into the national team. So we went back and created the league in 2015. Now in 2018, in 2021 we expanded it. Now we have the Super League, but we also have now the second national league, which is the Elite League, and then we have the leagues in the regions, and then the schools competitions, the cup. So there are many competitions we are doing for girls. But our strategy is that in the coming years, our interest is that every Premier League club must operate a women team as a requirement of club licensing. And we believe when we get to this level, and some clubs have already started doing it, then we shall have a Premier League of women. And we believe at that level we shall have provided an environment for women football. For the girls who are talented to get an opportunity to play, because that is what was lacking. But also the national teams, we are engaging in all competitions, under 17, under 20, and the senior team, and they are doing well. If you see our girls under 20, they play Ghana in the final rounds, and the winner goes to the World Cup. They have never been to the World Cup. The under 17 girls just eliminated Zimbabwe. They're also on a journey to be able to go to the World Cup. So we should continue knocking on the door until it opens.
But President, what about the youths, the youth player in Uganda? We know that Uganda in under 17 have a good result, but what is the effective plan about the youth?
That's the technical master plan. It's a big plan. This interview time may not be enough for it. But what we have done as a country, we have come with what we call the technical master plan. What is in this technical master plan? We looked at the career of a player. So we are doing a lot of mass football. Football in the villages, everywhere, for a specific age. And after that, the players we have identified, we want to take them into an elite development path. And we have signed up with schools across the country that will provide us with the environment. Now, in the right age, those players will be picked into what we are calling the G2 academies at the professional clubs and the National Football Academy. Until we take this player through the right path of development. They might be good at 16, at 17, but they might have missed some initial stages. So that's what we have gone back to. I can assure you, in the next 5-10 years, we're going to have some of the best players on the continent. That's what I can assure you.
Yeah.
Because we have gone for identification at the right age. We have rewritten our curriculum. We have set the schools where they are going.
Yeah.
And that is the second pillar of the technical master plan, the elite development.
Yeah.
The first one is identification in mass football. Second one is elite. The third one is what do we do when these clubs, when players don't go out to Europe and everywhere. How are they developed at the clubs and the professional clubs? And we are working with the clubs to make sure that they have academies that hold on this plan. Finally, we're also looking at what people don't look at, life after playing.
Yeah.
There are many people don't look at that, but for us, we believe a player is identified, is trained, plays professional football, and eventually retires. So we are capturing very many of the players before they finish to try and recycle them back into the game. If you look at the current under-17 national team, it's being coached by Kingston from Ghana, but all the other players are former national team players, and we believe we will educate them and make them better players. So we bring back the players into the game.
Into the game. But President, you know, in everywhere in Africa, the relationship between the federation and the Minister of Sports are very strong. What is your relationship with the minister, your sport minister?
You know, it's a bit different for us. First of all, we are privileged that I happen to be the president of the federation. But I'm also a member of parliament.
Okay.
I represent my village where I come from in the parliament. So I have access to government. And this was done deliberately. We sat in the executive committee of Fufa, 5 of us, and we said, guys, the better way for football, let's go into that house. So far now we are 2 members on my executive. We went into politics and we are able to become members of parliament. Now the business of government is done in parliament. That's where the resources are located, that's where everything is done. But also we are privileged that the Minister of Education and Sports happens to be the first lady of the country. And this gives us access to the president because our minister has access to the president. And in our country, the president has a lot of say in directing the business of the country, like many African countries. But also, by the grace of God, my wife happened to, in the process, also to become the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda. The Minister of State for Sports is my teammate. We play on the Parliamentary Football Club together. So we have created a relationship, and that's why you see that the government has come to build stadiums, has come to support football. It's doing a lot of things in football, but was strategic. In the beginning, it wasn't the case. We just built into it.
But President, you know you are a member of ESCO for the CAF.
I've been a member.
You've been a member.
Yes,
but
for 6 years.
We talk about the AFCON. So many people don't think that Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya don't organize the AFCON. I really assure people that the AFCON will take place on the same time, in the same day.
Let me assure you. People have not been, you know, we have done our countries a lot of disservice in the past. There are things that people don't know about East Africa. One, we have very talented players, but because there were no proper systems to identify them and develop them the way West Africa does, you can easily conclude to think there are not talented players in East Africa. 2, East Africa is very developed. In terms of the economies, Kenya is the 6th economy in Africa. Tanzania is the 7th economy in Africa. Uganda is the 14th economy in Africa. These are top economies. When you look at things we need to host people, airports, roads, hotels, these are fully developed. Now the challenge was that there was no energy put into building sports facilities like stadiums. And that's why we were not hosting events. But today, for us, we took a strategy, and football in East Africa will never be the same again. I want to assure the viewers that East Africa is going to be ready. Tanzania is building 4 stadiums. Kenya is building 2 stadiums. Uganda is building 3 stadiums. And they will be on time as we speak. We just completed 1 stadium in Uganda, the one called the Hoima City Stadium, done by the Turkish, already handed over to government. Ready. Then Mandela National Stadium is the one which we have been using for our qualifiers. We're only expanding. We have closed it to make sure we just expand on the capacity and the lounges It's almost it's a finished structure.
Yeah.
And that's what we need as a minimum. But also the third one, which is in the north of Uganda, the Akibwa, is also now at roofing stage.
Yeah.
So for me, this will be done in terms of the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And of course, Kenya, I've seen what they are doing with Kasarani and Talanta. They're on course. When you look at Tanzania, we're on course. So for me, I'm not worried at all. I think what we need to put our energy is the ability to host people. A football event is not just an event. We do not have so much of that experience of hosting such big events. But these are things we are bringing experts to work with us and make sure that but people are going to enjoy East Africa. East Africa has things that the rest of Africa doesn't have. Yeah. People keep saying it's the history was written wrongly, but the Garden of Eden is actually in East Africa.
Yeah.
So people need to come to the Garden of Eden. The real true Garden of Eden is in Africa. Is in East Africa. It's a very good place, very hospitable people with lots and lots of nature for people to enjoy.
But the Nambole Stadium, are you proud of this renovation of Nambole Stadium?
Yeah, they did a lot of work, but the work they are doing now, even after AFCON, there's also going to be another third phase. Yeah. Because we have done it in 3 phases. The first one was to make sure we have a home for the national team. The second one is to make it ready for AFCON. But there was also a third phase. But we are working with an old structure which is already existing. So you have limitations of what you do and what you can't do. It's an old architecture of stadium. But with the additions we are making, it will be very good for AFCON, and we believe we will have the opening ceremony in Nambole. That's what Ugandans want.
Okay, President, you have more than 15 years in the football in Africa. What do you think about the relationship between CAF and FIFA?
For me, it's good, and it should be good, because Africa, we have 54 countries. Yeah. That's the biggest confederation in the world. Yeah. And we have some of the most talented players in the world. Yeah. So we have a stake in world football. And I believe that we have been taken for a long time without our due position. Yeah. What I like about President Gianni Infantino is that he has prioritized Africa. The resources have come into federations, into CAF itself. Yeah. And you can see that there is a lot of improvement in African football. We have gotten into the same finals, not by accident. It's Morocco, but Morocco plays with all of us to be able to be who they are. Yeah. I believe it's time that maybe we even take the World Cup, because we have always had these good players, but the systems behind them to organize the teams, to be able to go into a competition like the World Cup and compete. Yeah. But this knowledge has now eventually come to Africa. Yeah. And I believe that there is a lot to be done about African football in terms of commercialization, to get more money into club football, into federations. Yeah. But for me, the direction we have taken, the relationship we have with FIFA, the good relationship with President Gianni Infantino and Dr. Patrice Motsepe, and the relationship we have with us, the presidents of the federations. For me, I believe we are headed for good things, and I'm lucky to be a president of the federation at this time when all this is happening.
But how can you say to people who talk about that FIFA managed CAF?
No, you know, I've been a member of the executive of CAF. Yeah. I've been a president of the federation before the current administration of Gianni Infantino became a president of FIFA. Yeah. So I know the differences. Yeah. But you see, one thing we have to accept is that FIFA does not manage CAF. Okay. We have made some decisions against FIFA when I'm a member of the executive of committee. There's a time we decided to take our own decisions, and these decisions have actually helped African football. So for me, when FIFA comes to us and says, look, this is what we think, it is our responsibility to say yes or no. Okay. We have said yes to some proposals, we have said no to some proposals. You know, so for me, I believe that we need to learn from FIFA. Definitely FIFA is more organized than CAF. Yeah. It has a better exposure than we have. It has a better access to many things. So I believe that for me, we need to take the good things that FIFA brings to us. Yeah. And we need to discuss everything that comes to us, and we always have an opportunity as heads of federations to discuss these things. Nothing is introduced without our discussion. Whatever has been introduced by FIFA, but whatever has been proposed by FIFA and CAF administration and the CAF executive has engaged us as president of federation. So, and for me, they are good programs. Tell me anything. There's always going to be a good program behind it. We might not have the same opinion. We might be stuck in doing things a certain way we have been doing them. But when you look at the bigger picture, African football needs money. Right now, whatever you do, what is keeping us behind? African football needs money. I've not seen any decision that he has come in and has taken away money. I've seen decisions that actually target to bring in more resources. And when African football gets the money it's supposed to get, the world will have to compete with us, not us competing with them.
It's the final question. We are on FIFA Congress in Vancouver. What do you expect for this event?
Well, what President Gianni has shown us over a period, he found federations when we were getting $250,000 every federation. Look at it, $250,000 per year. And some 400,000 for a project over 4 years. Today, in FIFA Forward 3, every federation gets about $1.25 million every year. Now, this increases on the capacity of the federation. Then, even when more money for projects, we are getting about $3 million every year for projects. And my experience has shown that every time we come for Congress at a cycle like this of the World Cup, normally this money changes. I'm thinking it's going to be another plus. So for me, I'm optimistic, I'm positive, and I think that where we started with $250 a year, $250,000 a year, today the federation is getting almost $80 million over a cycle of 4 years. So for me, I believe it's only better for football. If we at the administrators get the money and put it in the right causes and put it in the right use, I believe that football will definitely just get better on the African continent.
President, what is your last word to the Uganda people who think that you are a good or not good?
When being a president of a federation is being an endangered species. We do it for passion. We love football and we spend our time and but always, even if there's a new president that is going to be voted tomorrow for in a country, I can tell you today that there are only people who are going to be against what he's doing. So it's the nature of the game. What you do, you concentrate on your things, and that's what I've done in Uganda. People criticize, talk about things. I do, but at the end of the day, just prove them wrong. Just do things and prove them wrong. There are things I've introduced in Uganda and everybody's like, no, that's wrong. Eventually it comes out that it was the right thing to be done. So you manage people by results. You manage people by organizing things and making them better. And that's what my success story has been about. But most importantly for me, my call is on African football. We need to improve on club football in Africa. We need to bring back our African brothers who are supporting European football. It is our duty as the football administrators to give them a product that they want to buy. We are not just going to ask them, don't support European football. No, we must give them an alternative product. The Africa the club Champions League. It should be our prize. Today teams don't want even to qualify to go to the Champions League because it's a cost, it's a burden. But we need to get into the Champions League that every team dreams, every player. We have now built the stadiums across Africa. I want to thank CAF for standing firm. And now governments across, there are some countries which are still struggling, but generally we have the proper infrastructure now in Africa. We need to build on our capacity to do television production. We need to build on our capacity to produce good quality players. Then we will need the Africa Champions League to be the biggest competition on the planet. Why does everybody think it must be? We want Europeans in Croatia, in England to come and sign for African clubs. And it's possible. It can be done if we have the money. Other countries, other parts of the world have tried to do China, Saudi Arabia, but they do not have the quality in terms of what Africa has. So for me, that's my dream that all of us Africans, can we fight to make sure that we build African football, club football. Automatically the national teams will be good. They'll automatically be good. But we need to build club football in Africa because that's where football actually belongs. That's where the real football of Africa is supposed to be. When some of our good players go to Europe, we will support them from there. That's not a problem. But I believe we have the potential. Let us get the best coaches, let us get the best academies, let us get the best. We have 1.6 billion people living on African continent. That market is enough for us to generate enough revenue for a talented footballer in Guinea-Bissau, in Eritrea, in Ghana, in Uganda, to get the opportunity without leaving home. To be able to benefit from this. For me, that's my call for African football.
Do you think that African country must win World Cup?
We are ready. For me, where we are ready. Look at today. I've looked at the Africa Cup of Nations, the one which was in Morocco. If you looked at the quality of football being played by some of the countries, I mean, these are players who are top players in the world. There is no excuse for us today. In the past, you know, remember in the early 80s, the 90s, you could see Africa, and you would see that there was something lacking. But today our players are playing in the UEFA Champions League finals. They are some of the starting players in some of the best clubs in Europe. When you look at Senegal, there's no excuse for us today not to win the World Cup. There's no excuse. When you look at Morocco, there's no excuse for us not to win the World Cup.
Algeria.
When you look at Algeria, for me, there's no excuse. You know, but of course, winning the World Cup has its own details of sometimes luck comes with it. Sometimes, you know, but for me, the African countries are now ready. It's a question of opportunity. It's a question of luck sometimes. But in terms of ability, we cannot say we are not winning because we are not ready. No. For me, I believe we are ready.
Thank you, Mr. Magogo, to give me this interview. I'm very proud of what you think, and I hope that people of Africa will think about Africa, like you said, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.